What's up, everybody? I am Jaspreet Singh and welcome to the Minority Mindset, and today we have a very special guest. Shelly is the founder and CEO of Sahi Cosmetics, and they have raised a total of about $295,000 for their business. It's a makeup business, and today we're going to be hearing about Shelly and how she did it. So Shelly, welcome.
Thank you so much. Hi guys, thanks for tuning in.
So tell me a little bit about what your business does so everybody knows. What is Sahi Cosmetics?
So Sahi Cosmetics is makeup for medium skin, luxury makeup for medium skin. Growing up, I was obsessed with fashion magazines. I used to read Vogue and Allure, but I never understood.
I don't know anything about those.
Oh, don't worry about it. It was my obsession. It was like my way of getting into like the fashion and beauty world. But the problem was none of the girls in those magazines looked like me. And I love my brown skin, but I didn't understand why brown wasn't beautiful enough for Vogue.
Okay.
And growing up, when I started experimenting with makeup products, I realized that the cosmetic world is just as limiting, and I was extremely underserved. I would have to mix products to get the right shade, and I realized that it wasn't just me or Indians that had this problem. It was Arabic women and Latino women, people that have yellow and olive undertones to their skin. We couldn't find products that worked for us. So I knew that there was this open space in the market, but I didn't have the guts to do anything about it until I was getting my MBA at Ross. And I basically had a lot of really good mentors that helped me start this company. So
wow, that's really cool. So you created a business. You found this need. You were like, okay, there's no makeup out there that really suits me. You found that need and you kind of fulfilled it. It's interesting because you took a niche, right? So beauty and makeup is mainly targeted towards women.
Right.
And then even within that niche, you created an even smaller niche, like darker or olive and yellow skin undertones. Is that what you said? I've never heard of these words before.
No, but you're doing good, yeah.
Okay, so you created a niche with it. Why did you go so narrow? Were you worried that, my business is going to be limiting other people? Were you worried about having a small target audience?
Not really, no. What most businesses don't realize is getting your first 1,000 customers is quite hard to do. But once you get them and they're loyal to your brand, you can have $1 million business just right there. I think I watched a TED Talk about this. So what I wanted to do was start off someplace, earn myself a small piece of the pie in the cosmetic industry, which is large, and work my way up from there. So what I've eventually done now is cater to ethnic skin tones. I have a lot of African American women that buy my products. Surprisingly, 20% of my customer base is male.
Really?
Yeah. Which is amazing, So I think because we promote diversity and our hashtags are own your color, be confident, be you. These are the messages that we use to represent Sahi.
So do you have a male product as well?
Do I have a what?
Male guy products?
Our products are unisex. So let's say concealers. Everyone has dark under eye circles, especially during exam time. Foundation, eyebrow filler. I know some guys use the eyebrow filler to fill in their beards. So
for guys that can't grow beards.
I don't think you're gonna have that problem.
I don't think so either. That's really cool. Yeah. So what made you want to start a business though? Because I think for somebody who, has dreams of being an entrepreneur, starting a business is like, how do I do that? Where do I start? I mean, when you were young, did you envision yourself as one day I'm going to be a big CEO or
Not really, no. I mean, growing up, I thought I was going to be a doctor. So I went to the University of Michigan.
I feel you.
Hey! I double majored in biology and philosophy. I took the MCAT 6 times.
Oh
and
my
I was just
God. Hold on.
burnt
You
out.
took the MCAT 6 times?
Yes.
Okay. I did not know this. I took the MCAT once.
Okay.
And the MCAT is like an 8-hour, or when we took it, it was like an 8-hour exam.
Yeah, it was long.
And you studied for months for the MCAT. And you took it 6 times?
Yes. Yeah, because I kept wanting to get into a Harvard or something. I wanted to get into a good school. I didn't want to just get into a normal school. And it was, I swear to God, I was burnt out. I couldn't do it anymore. It wasn't where my passion was. And I'm telling you guys, I literally grew up reading Vogue and Allure. These magazines were my life. I love fashion. I love beauty. And I thought I would be a plastic surgeon. Like that was my compromise with my parents. Like, sure, I'll become a doctor, but I'll be a plastic surgeon.
Wow.
And I just wasn't passionate about microbiology the same way I was passionate about cosmetics, for instance.
So when did you make the decision? Okay, mom and dad, I'm not going to become a doctor.
Yeah.
I'm going to go into business.
You know, it was a gradual process for me because once I told my parents I didn't want to be a doctor, they said, well, the only work experience you have is working at the University of Michigan Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
I was lab tech there.
Okay.
Right, so all I had was experience doing SCM microscopy work on frog neurons.
I don't know what that means. Could you explain that in English?
Basically, I was doing a lot of like lab techie stuff.
Okay,
on
so it was like scientific stuff.
Scientific stuff,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And I was applying to jobs in the private sector that were using my experience, right? And they were all paying very little, like $14 an hour. And I was trying to figure out what to do with my life. And at this point, I personally felt like I hit rock bottom. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I got a really great degree that I'm not using anymore from the University of Michigan, and my parents were so concerned about me. By chance, somebody at the Ford Research Center needed my expertise because they wanted me to do the same lab techie stuff on aluminum spot welds because they were making the F-150 out of aluminum.
Wow.
I really got lucky. So I
you
started
got into all of the science
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah, but so basically I got lucky because I started at the bottom of the totem pole at Ford in the research lab, and I worked my way up to the business office. And that's how I got to business. I knew I wanted to do business. I mean, even in undergrad, I was a part of a business fraternity for a semester.
Okay.
Which was a waste of time. We did nothing but party. But I knew I did like business, and I had some sort of passion for it. So when I was at the business office, that's where I really started to learn how to negotiate and what is corporate strategy and all this great stuff.
So when you were growing up, you never really learned about business or any of these things?
I don't think it was really encouraged.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of women are encouraged to go off and start their own company. It's not a great job for people that want to raise kids and stuff. It's not really encouraged.
Even when you're in college, though, I mean, you weren't given like when you go to Career Center, you're given like pamphlets of like different options, but you really don't see a lot of start a business or be a business owner, right?
No,
so you kind of created that out of nowhere.
Yeah, and you know what? That's changing now.
Is it?
Because a lot of the entrepreneurs in the Ann Arbor community, we're trying to help encourage entrepreneurship.
Okay.
So we've taken upon ourselves to help classes that teach at Ross to encourage people to become entrepreneurs and not just recruit for a normal job afterwards.
That's great. I think we need more entrepreneurs. I mean, that is something we've been talking about a lot, so that's good to hear.
Yeah.
So now you're at Ford and you had this idea to go into business. How did you create makeup? Because I think, so now I have a business idea. How do I turn this idea in my mind into something physical and real? I mean, makeup, you got to have like some sort of idea of, how do you create lipstick? I don't know. Where would you start?
All right, so let me back up and talk about my time at Ford first.
Okay.
Because I think that'll explain some stuff.
Sure.
When I was at Ford, I was a material science engineer. I learned a whole lot of stuff that I'll probably never use in my life about carbon fiber and aluminum spot welds and like the science behind those materials.
Okay.
And what's really interesting is carbon fiber composites actually have a lot of things in common with makeup. And nobody would actually expect this.
I would have never known.
Like, for instance, the carbon fibers, you have to put it in a resin. This like basically a liquid which melts down to a plastic and makes it hard enough to use for a car part. The resin has emulsifiers, it has colorants, it has like drying agents, and all of those things you have in lipsticks and foundations as well. They're different ingredients, but the same chemical principles are behind making both of them. So I learned a great deal when I was at Ford, actually, behind the chemistry and the material science side of things.
Okay.
But once I got to the business office, I started learning about like corporate strategy and negotiations, and I started learning that a lot of those decisions I can't make. And even after I get my MBA, the chances of me moving up to C-suite were very slim because there was not a single woman in those meetings. Whenever I had any sort of strategic meeting, I was off to the side watching all of the older men make these decisions for Ford. And I didn't really see myself up there. I couldn't see myself there. Number one, I didn't have an actual engineering degree. So anytime I talked to a mentor, they would say, Ford's not your place because you don't have an engineering degree, you just have engineering experience. So even with your MBA, even if you were an all-star champion, chances of you getting to the C-suite are slim.
I see.
And that's why I was like, you know what? I won't get the responsibilities that I want. I won't feel fulfilled at a 9-to-5 job. I need to start my own company so I feel fulfilled and I can run it how I want it.
And you created your own way to do that.
Right, yeah. But the thing is, I knew I wanted to do something on my own, but I didn't know what. And when I got my MBA, when I was in my classes like strategic, like brand strategy and like new product innovation, that's where I started learning what are good business opportunities and what are not good business opportunities. And I learned the tools to analyze industries and see if this is an industry I wanted to go through.
Well, that's good. That I mean, you applied. You know, sometimes people say it's luck or whatever, but you were kind of just in the right place. But not even that. You took what you learned at this place and you applied everything together. You know?
Yeah.
So I think that's really crucial. Where no matter where you are, you can be picking up little bits of information and applying that to something bigger, whatever you want to do in the future.
Yes, exactly. And here's the thing, like a lot of people don't have a linear trajectory in their career. And you should never be ashamed of that. Because I think that just shows...
For entrepreneurs, more like somewhere in between.
That's true, but that's okay because like you said, you pick up things as you continue to do different roles in different positions. It helps you become a more well-rounded person. And all that experience ties into what you want to do at the end, which is become an entrepreneur, start your own business.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And so now you had this idea to create this makeup line. I know it wasn't cheap, and you raised $295,000,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And
But I started small.
Started small, but
Yeah.
one of your investors was actually the founder or the co-founder of AOL.
Yes, Steve Case.
So you even have, so you've grown from, you know, being pre-med to working at Ford to now raising, how much did he invest?
He invested $100,000.
To now having the co-founder of AOL investing $100,000 to help you grow. So
Right,
that's
yeah.
amazing.
Thank you, thank you.
And so if you do want to learn more about Shelly and how she raised this money and how she's using this money in her business now, we're going to be talking more about this in depth on our website, www.theminoritymindset.com. So make sure you check that out. Where can people learn more about you and Sahi Cosmetics?
Just SahiCosmetics.com. That's our website.
That's simple.
And we have an Instagram page and a Facebook page.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming in, Shelly.
Thank you.
If you have not already, be sure to subscribe to the Minority Mindset YouTube channel because we're releasing new videos on entrepreneurship, business, and money every single week. And as always, keep hustling.